Lasomia formally started in 2010, and our roots go back further than that. We were doing some youth development and community garden work in Anthony, Chaparral, Vado areas through the Colonias Development Council, and realized kind of the need there was translating it into backyard gardens and into supplemental family income.
We were all kind of in our own paths working around issues of equity and justice, and it was really coalescing around food in our own different paths. And when we came to know each other through the community garden work, I think it began to crystallize like we could really build this out. And I think all of us were really committed to being in this region and seeing this local food movement that's been burgeoning in other places, really seeing that blossom here.
Beginning Lasomia, I was deeply impacted by my experiences working alongside communities and hearing directly from them about the needs for having access to good, healthy food, also for having opportunities for youth to engage them in ways that were bringing families together.
Especially in the last 2 years, we've come to a point at the farm where now it is in production, and we bring people to the farm, and we have summer camps, we have youth programming, we have apprenticeships, and it's no longer just standing in this open field saying one day we're going to do this and one day we're going to do that. The educational piece was tied to inspiring people around what it meant to grow and the community it built around that. And the second year, instead of only focusing on the growing, we really started to incorporate the cooking piece and all the things that happen around the celebration of food. And then it becomes celebratory, and it becomes about community and relationship and love, and that's what moves people.
I think one of the most impactful things about our work is when we're able to have family cooking activities. Our programs bring families together. But once we get them in the classroom and they are preparing meals together and trying fresh vegetables, trying new recipes and sharing with each other, it's just something magical happens.
We really want to create inclusive space, a safe space, especially since there really, quite frankly, aren't a lot of spaces for youth around, just to gather, to be themselves, to learn, to hang out, to develop new friendships, new skills, and to get away from like day-to-day struggle.
We've heard from participants that this is the first time we ate together in a long time, or I didn't know that my son could use a knife so well. Those are some of the ways, I think, by actually doing and creating opportunities to pull families together around cooking and growing food that have been the most impactful.
And we've had youth come back that we've worked with from the start that describe how they went through the educational programming and then had an epiphany kind of a year or two later, and realized what they were learning, how it does impact the decisions they're making and their family life at home, and how really so many of them want to continue to be involved. I think the combination of both the education they're receiving, but the hands-on experience and exposure to new things, whether it's eating new fruit or vegetables, or getting their hands dirty in a garden or at the farm, or helping sell produce at the farmer's market and learning business skills. The ways in which the work we're doing impacts youth and their families, I'm not even sure that we fully understand.
I think one reason we've been able to make a tremendous amount of progress in 5 years has been partnerships with other organizations, with foundations. The amount of support we've received, both financially but just in other sorts of resources and mentorship and guidance, has been inspiring and I think telling of the possibilities for Lasomia.
Part of our long-term vision is having a facility where we can have community workshops and aggregate produce, and there's a long-term goal of being able to support local farmers here more in terms of having a place to store and distribute produce.
kind of honing back in on our mission of education, and realizing that there's still opportunities to do a lot of food tastings, to do cooking in the classroom and expose kids to ideas of seasonality, ideas about what grows well here locally.
I would really love to see every school throughout the region using edible education in their classrooms and engaging kids, using gardens as outdoor classrooms and bringing fresh produce into the classroom for them to try new things.
I really hope in the next 5 years that it becomes easier for people to grow food and make a living from it, or at least to have some supplemental income. And I feel that's part of this consciousness raising about the value of food and how it is tied to our health, and people being willing to pay for that value.
This year we've been able to leverage USDA Community Food Projects funding, which is going to provide a multi-year grant to help support piloting a mobile farmers market in the region. We're hoping that beginning on this level not only begins to address pretty fundamental food access and hunger issues in communities, but begins to lay the groundwork for supporting farmers, providing another market outlet.
So I would say that the seeds of our work are based in equity, justice, and building community around food.
We can create the change we want to see and want to be. We can do that individually and we can do it collectively, but it starts with each of us.
That's why it's important to keep fostering the work and the knowledge that we are with Lessenia for our future generations.